In today's video, we're going to take a look at what smart bulbs work the best for video. Let's get to it. What's up everybody, Mike here from TopShelf Media. So today we're going to look at Philips Hue and Lifx smart bulbs and figure out which one of them works the best for video. If you want to use them as an accent light or a colored light behind a product shot, whatever you want to use them for, which lights look the best on video. So what I've done is I've set up a couple tests just to run through to see how they look. All right guys, so we're ready to go with the test here. So what we're going to do is I white balance the camera to the room with my softbox lights on, but not with the smart bulbs on. So what the plan is we're going to run through a few of the colors of each of these bulbs just to see which one looks better on camera. So that way if you want to use an accent light, if you want to use a colored light as an accent light on your studio, what's going to look the best for you. Now the ISO in your camera and the lighting in your studio will drastically change how these lights look on your camera, so there will be some tweaking you might have to do. Now having said that, let's get started. Okay, run YouTube test 1. Okay, so this is interesting to me. So when looking at these in person, the Lifx light looks like a nice vibrant purple color. It looks really good. Whereas the Philips Hue one looks more dull and washed out. But on camera, like I said, which is what the goal is here, is the Philips Hue one looks, I would say, better because the Lifx one looks more pink than purple. So if you're going for purple color, I'd have to say Philips Hue probably takes this one. What we're going to do here is I'm actually going to turn off each light. I have each light on one at a time, and we will see just to make sure there's no bleed over of color. Okay, I mean, still dull, that was to be expected. Okay, but now let's check the Lifx light. And yeah, I mean, there wasn't really much bleed over. It still looks the same as it did when they were both on. It looks pretty pink in camera, and I mean, the fall off is purple. So, I mean, as long as you plan for that, I think it's gonna look fine, because if you look on the table there, it definitely looks like a purple light on the table. But if you're looking at the wall, it's definitely pink. Okay, so we're gonna do our next test here. Okay, run YouTube test 2. Okay, so these two are supposed to be green. And as you can see on camera, they're a little bit more aqua than green, I would say. In person, the Lifx light, again, looks very vibrant, a very nice, bright green color. It looks very, very good. And again, the Philips Hue looks a little dull. On camera, I would say you get more of the green out of the Philips Hue. You get more of an aqua color from the Lifx light. Let's take a look at the individual lights. Again, I think obviously with the Lifx light off, I think the Philips Hue light looks better. You get more of the green out of it. You would definitely need to brighten that up in post, but I think that the Philips Hue looks pretty good by itself. Let's look at the Lifx. The Lifx light, again, it's really bright. So I think if you were using this, you know, if you have a very deep studio, you could use this to accent something, you know, on the back wall. As long as you're not shooting it directly at something, I think this light's gonna look good. But again, it all depends on the lighting in your studio and what you have your camera settings at. I wanted to kind of show you guys another little test here about, you know, how the ISO affects it. So as you look here, this is what it looks like with my ISO turned all the way down to 100. I'm shooting this with my ISO at 640, which is not what I usually shoot my studio stuff at, but for this test, that's why I set it at. But yeah, this would be what it would look like with your ISO all the way down, and I think the colors actually look really good there. So like I said, your ISO and your lighting is really going to drastically affect what the coloring looks like on camera when you go into post. And just a couple more quick tests here. Hey, set the lamps to red. In person, actually both of these look very similar. The Lifx lights are obviously brighter, which we've mentioned before. But I think the red colors look pretty good. I kind of like the red in the Philips Hue bulb more than I like it on the Lifx bulb in person. On camera, I think I would still have to agree with that. Okay, the next one we're gonna do, hey, set the lamps to blue. Okay, this is actually really interesting to me. So in person, these both look very blue. Obviously the Philips Hue bulb is dimmer than the Lifx bulb. We've gone over that 1,000 times already today. But they both look blue. On camera, they look very purple. Very purple. Like maybe not able to distinguish between that and the purple on camera. It'd be very close. You know, with the ISO down, I think the Philips Hue looks more blue and the Lifx light still looks purple to me. So sitting here, about ready to wrap this video, shoot my intros and outros, and call this one good. And then I thought to myself, what about doing product shots? What if I wanted to use this as a background light to my B-roll, or I wanted to use it in my thumbnails? Which one would look better? I mean, I do this all the time. So what I did is I set up another little test here. So I put my auto dolly down here and I found something interesting. You know, I was on the fence with my decision for these lights, and looking at this more closely with different colors in the backgrounds, I think solidified what I think my answer is going to be. This is what it looks like with both lights on purple. If I turn off the Philips Hue light, you see just the Lifx light, and I think that that's a really nice purple color there. You're getting a little bit of that pink on the left corner there from where the fall off is from that bright spot of the light being pink and then going to purple, but on the table it actually looks purple. And I didn't move these lights when I placed these products. They're in the same spot they were for the previous tests. And then when I turn off the Lifx light and turn on just the Philips Hue light, I mean, it looks purple, but it doesn't look great. I think the purple coming off the Lifx light is definitely a lot better. And I mean, you can see that with these other colors I did as well. You know, if we just jump through a few of these colors real quick, you see it's the same way. It looks just kind of dull with the Philips Hue lights. And so if you're gonna use the Lifx lights, you need to really pay attention on to where that light's hitting and try and use the fall off from the light. So I think that wraps it up and answers our question. I would have to say the Lifx bulb is the winner. I love how bright and vibrant the colors are. When you put it next to the Philips Hue bulb, the Philips Hue lights just look so dim and washed out. They just don't look great. By themselves, they look fantastic, but once you see them next to the Lifx bulbs, I think Lifx is the clear winner. Now, I'm not saying by any means Philips Hue bulbs are terrible. I have a lot of them in my apartment, and I love using the Philips Hue bulbs. But for video, I think I'm gonna have to start going with the Lifx lights being in the background of my shots. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Even consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you like this video and want to see my previous video, click this link on screen. If you want to see my most recent video, click this link. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.